Hello, everybody. What it do? What it do? What it do? What it do? Good evening. I hope you're all well. Hope everything is peachy keen on your end. The chubby Antichrist. I like that. I might steal that and start taglining myself, the chubby Antichrist. Bonne nuit. Bonsoir. I look very Jesus-y every day. I've got the Jesus hair and beard combo going on. I just need to lose about 100 pounds, and I'll be very Jesus-y. Very out of control Jesus-y if I lost 100 pounds. Fart throb. I like that, dude. I like fart throb. I'm with it. Fart! Did TJ unmod Otello or did you? TJ might have. Let me take care of that right now. Otello doesn't get unmodded. Yeah, there was a purge, man. I'll have to talk to you guys about it here in a sec. Hold on. I gotta make sure I'm not modding the wrong fucking idiot here. They make it so fucking hard. Okay. I think this is the right one. Add moderator. Nope. That was not the right one. Remove moderator. Delta Temple, you were briefly a moderator. Okay, there we go. Otello. All right. You were re-wrenched. Yeah. There was chaos after the TJ takeover. And we lost, I'm afraid, another Spectre in the ensuing carnage. You know, when something like that happens, the shit, it rolls downhill. And unfortunately, the shit this time fell at the feet of our very own Ricklin Manchez, who has been stripped of their moderating... Get out of here, Nat. Stripped of their moderator privileges. Because they basically became TJ's little, like, monkey when he took over the stream. Like, Ricklin Manchez was just at TJ's beck and call, banning whoever he said, and just very eager to please TJ. None of the other mods did so in their defense. None of the other Spectres violated, in my opinion. Get out of here. It's fucking Gnats. These fucking Gnats, man. Uh-oh, my webcam just took a shit. That's not good. What a night tonight. What a night to be alive. Yeah, to Jickafants. To Jickafants abound. Yeah, my webcam just took a shit. It's great. I spent all this time like messing with my lighting so that it didn't make me look like a total vampire and shit. And now it's just not working. Here, let me try and switch it this way. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Well, there may just be no cam tonight, I guess. I don't know. Maybe I'll try and add a new device. Here's what I'll do. Let's remove this. And let's add a webcam. Why not? Why not do this live? Professional fucking streamer. How do we do this? Video capture. There we go. Just call it webcam. Say okay. And then we want to pick this one. Yes. Yes. Then we want to say okay. Then we want to bring this up. Hey everybody, I'm back. Okay. There we go. It's geometrically not great, but whatever. It works for now. Voila. And now that I've gotten that fixed, I'm going to disable my webcam again so that I can engage in some legal tobacco. If you partake in such and have some, I really recommend that you do so. You do so now. That triggered your arachnophobia. I was like a spider crawling around on the screen. Spider Paul. I'm just going to take a hit on the old vapor. Oh. Haven't smoked that stuff in a month and a half. Life is rough, Paul. Oh, yeah. I'm sorry to hear that, bro. Liam had some legal tobacco chocolate. You would think tobacco would not make great chocolate flavoring, but you'd be wrong. It's delicious. Amazing. Whoa, okay. All right. We're fine. Jupiter has landed. Something is skunky about this tobacco talk. I suspect a ruse. A ruse, sir? You accuse of a ruse? Should have you beheaded, sir. I should challenge you to a pistol duel at dawn to defend my honor. A ruse. How dare you? How dare you impugn my honor, sir? Taking cartridge rips now. 420 solidarity. Yes, 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 yes. Swiggity swiggitus. Smoke that greenicus. That's not even a soft rhyme. That's just a shit rhyme. But whatever. It's fine. We'll go with it. We need a secret Highdeology bunker. Isn't Highdeology itself already basically a secret bunker? There's like 200 to 300 of you that show up for these. You know? Like, it's already a bunker, man. I'm gonna put a link to Morgan's SoundCloud page so I can just direct people to it in the description eventually. It might already be there, actually, if you go look. But yeah, my friend Morgan was in a band back in '98 called the Skunk Junkies, and their entire album, as well as pretty much everything musically that Morgan's recorded, is available on that SoundCloud, including Drunken Teenage Antics with yours truly. as part of Apple Nasty. So going all the way back. His SoundCloud is Mocrux27, MOCRUX27, no space. If you search that in Google, it's the first thing that comes up. And the Skunk Junkies album is, I think, the first album that pops up as well. So it should be very easy to find. I don't have a Discord. I do have a Discord, but it's a secret Discord right now, and I'm really probably not going to be opening it. I've been weighing it in my mind. I'm like, upsides, I could chill with people from Highdeology. Downsides, I'd have to chill with people from Highdeology. And I've kind of gone, no offense, but I've kind of gone the downside right way. Any particular movie get you heavy into cinema? Also, sorry if you have ever talked about this already, but your thoughts on The Lighthouse. I haven't, I don't think. Okay, so number one, I don't really consider myself to be heavy into cinema. I'm not one of those people that's like seen every movie that's been ever made. Like there's a lot of like quote unquote classic top 10 list movies that I probably haven't seen. Like, let me pull it up. Let's see if it works this time. Because typically when I see one of these like top 10 best movies of all time, top 10 movies of all time, there's like at least 4 of them I haven't seen. Maybe even more. 10 Greatest Films of All Time by Roger Ebert. All right, the top 10s. Okay. We'll go with the top 10s. So, well, fuck this. Let's just make it full screen. Okay, so here we go. Forrest Gump. I've seen it, obviously. The Godfather. I've seen it, obviously. The Dark Knight. I've seen it, obviously. The Shawshank Redemption. I've seen it. Okay, this is one of those lists that isn't even trying to be snooty or pretentious, which is cool, I guess. This isn't Roger Ebert. This is just thetop10s.com. So I don't know if this is like voted on by the people or whatever. Yeah, it says vote. So I guess people, this is according to the people's votes. So the people think Forrest Gump, seen it. The Godfather, The Dark Knight, seen it. Shawshank Redemption, seen it. Star Wars Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back, seen it. Pulp Fiction, seen it. Back to the Future, seen it. Lord of the Rings, seen it. Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hopes, obviously seen it. And The Lion King, seen it. Okay. So strike out on the first try, but we'll find some other top 10 lists and take a look at them. Let me see if I can fix this. Yeah, this is... Let me just take care of this while I'm at it. This is going to bug me if I don't take care of it. So let me just add my webcam over here as well. Hey, there I am. There I am, and here I be. A little bit up. Okay, we're good. So yeah, I struck out on that one, but I'll find us some other lists to take a look at. Well, maybe we'll look at Ebert's top 10 and see if there's anything fart sniffing and pretentious going on over there. I wouldn't be shocked. In fact, you know what? Fuck it. Let's just do that. Let's just look at the 10 greatest films of all time, according to Roger Ebert, and see if we disagree. A little bit of fart sniffing needs doing. All right, here we go. The 10 greatest films of all time, according to the master film critic, Mr. Roger Ebert. You should all bow down and kiss the feet of Roger Ebert. Ebert's best film list, 1967 to present. Okay, he's got all this fart. Okay, so alphabetically. He refuses to label them, whatever. He's pretentious. Alphabetically, then. His first choice is Casablanca. I'll click. Okay, that site cannot be reached. Great. Well, now I'm fucked because now I've just got to come out of full screen mode and go back. Okay, it doesn't need to be in full screen mode. Okay. Casablanca. I've seen it. Citizen Kane. I've seen it. These are the pretentious fart sniffer choices for greatest film ever made, by the way. These two films right here, if you meet somebody and they're trying to sound smart about movies, but they're not really, they'll probably say one of these two movies. They're both old, so you can pretend that you're into old-timey cinema. And they're both probably a pair of the most well-known old, golden age films. So Casablanca, Citizen Kane, both good movies, but fart-sniffing choices to put on your list. Floating Weeds, I've never seen it. I did not expect, and here we go. Let me read his inclusion of it on this list. I do not expect many readers to have heard of this film, or of Yasujiro Ozu, who directed it, but this Japanese master who lived from 1903 to 1963, and whose prolific career bridged the silent and the sound eras, saw things through his films in a way no one else saw. Audiences never stop to think when they go to the movies how they understand what a close-up is or a reaction shot. They learned that language in childhood, and it was codified and popular, whatever.
Farts!
Yes, my own farts smell amazing.
Farts!
Oh, yes, I do not suspect that many of my readers will have seen the film I'm about to include. Of course, Roger Ebert is going to have one of these. Gates of Heaven. I don't think I've seen it. I honestly don't think I've seen it. Let me see. Let's look for it. Gates of Heaven. Gates of Heaven, a documentary about a pet cemetery in California and the people who have pet. Okay, I have seen this. It was a long time ago. Right. It's a documentary. Oh, there's a little look, I guess, at what I'm working on for the next Deep Fat Fried. Those of you that want to go back and scrutinize, you get a little preview. Got my research up still. Okay. What happened to the 10 greatest movies of all time? Hello, hello, hello. Sup.
What it do?
How's everybody doing? How is everybody doing? All right, La Dolce Vita. I have not seen. Notorious. It's a Hitchcock movie, and I have seen. It's been a long time. Raging Bull, I've seen. The Third Man, I don't think I've seen. If I have seen, I don't remember seeing it. 28 Up, never heard of it. 2001: A Space Odyssey, I've seen. Okay. So on his list, I'd seen about half. Yeah, I mean, like, look, there's some great classic movies that I've never seen. So I don't call myself, this is why, I mean, bringing it back to the original point, this is why I don't call myself a cinephile. Okay? Or like whatever the question was asked. Like, I don't consider myself like I'm kind of a film buff, I think. Like, I like watching movies. I like watching new movies that I haven't seen. I like rewatching old movies that I have seen. I like examining movies and talking about movies and discussing movies with people who have seen them. I like watching movies with people for the first time and then talking about how they felt about it. And I've seen a ton of fucking movies. You're a cinema cynic. Yeah, I guess so. I suppose so. Let me mute my phone. Phone, you are muted. Yeah. I mean, if one of you guys want, like, maybe one of the Spectres can start a fucking Highdeology Discord, and best of luck to them as it takes over their life with crazy Game of Thrones-esque plays for power and backstabbing and betrayal and scandal and horrible nonsense. I just like that. There's something about a Discord community that just descends into pitchfork waving anarchy, and I just don't want to deal with that ever again. Like, I had this idea, like I was going to make just the Spectres from here mods over there if they wanted to be. And that would be the only mod ship, so that the mod ship would remain consistent across the two properties. Like, if I added a Spectre over there or over here, they would be added over there if they wanted to be. So Spectres would not be made on the Discord. And I thought to myself, like, that'll keep the drama away. Spectres are made on Highdeology. They're made because somebody on Highdeology pwned me real good or made me laugh really hard, or I know them. So I had this thought, like, that's going to keep it A-okay. No. You know, I'm not even going to, like, I won't even point fingers because I don't know, but one of my Spectres would be a Judas, at least. There'd be at least one Judas that was like the Saren, if you get that reference from Mass Effect 1. The Spectre gone bad. The rogue Spectre, you know what I mean? That they get dope, they get fucking sick with power. And they just start banning everybody or taking over. But yeah, Saren was trying to warn everybody about the fucking Reapers. That is true. Yeah, I finally finished the collage for the DFF studio backdrop. Sweet, dude. Send me some pictures if you can send me pictures. I know it's big, but yeah, show me that shit. I want to see that shit. That's awesome, Chelsea. I saw bits and pieces of it the last time I was over there, and it was looking awesome already, so I can't wait to see what you did with it. So the Bible and Mass Effect are neck and neck in Paul's reference pool. Yes. At least. I might reference Mass Effect a little more. I compare a lot of things to Mass Effect. That movie was like, that movie, well, I call it a movie because that's what it felt like. It felt like a 40-hour movie. Oh, shit. I thought you would have unmodded me by now. Oh, no. I thought you were always modded. But yeah, no. If TJ modded you, it's definitely a mod that I although you realize that it comes with no expectations or anything. You don't have to fucking use it for anything if you don't ever want to. Mods are free to use and not use their mod ship as they will. Who'd you bone in Mass Effect? Everybody. I've played Mass Effect a bunch of times. But yeah, the first Mass Effect is great. The second one is great as well. But I really do think the first one is like that was an awe-inspiring game when I played it for the first time. So neat. I will check my texts. Damn. Dude, people are going to love this shit. This is so cool. This came out so fucking cool. Yeah. Yeah, it's great. I love it, Chelsea. It's fucking great. I'll take a closer look at it later when don't have these lights in my face. Chelsea's the best, dude. Missed the past few streams, so this is to make up for it. P.S. I'm still salty that the DFF dissed Sonic Youth so hard. I'm sorry. I'm just not into him. Is Darky still a mod? He is not. Darky's mod ship was revoked long ago over things out of respect for Darky we will not bring up. But once your mod ship is revoked, there's no getting it back. So, unfortunately, no disrespect meant to Jay Darky. He will not, he cannot get his mod ship back. Just not possible. Fool me once. Shame on you. Fool me twice, can't get fooled again. I also unbanned everybody that was banned during the TJ stream so that I didn't have to deal with the wave of, hey, I got banned for nothing. Could you please unban me shit? Because I saw like a couple of really recognizable regulars got shit canned. I took care of it. It's all good. We fixed it. Yippee skippy. No, it was actually fun. It's funny, like, I died laughing watching TJ and Jay Darky and listening to Chelsea laugh about what my reaction was going to be. And I told TJ this, and I didn't tell him this to, like, disappoint him. But I died laughing watching the clip of them speculating, like, how hard I was going to freak out when I checked Twitter. But I think, you know, I don't know. I just don't look at social media the same way. And I went to my Twitter and I looked and I saw a bunch of updates on that. So I checked it and I saw TJ's "Your mom's ass is the moon." And then a bunch of people reposting that. And I was like, oh, TJ said this on the stream. That's cool. And that was it. Like, I went on and looked at the rest of my Twitter and went on about my day. That's how it hit. But listening to TJ and Darky and Chelsea speculate on how crazy it was going to make me was awesome. And that was a hilarious, like, conversation. Slow news week. I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know, man. We went through Flash Friday, and it seemed like the same news week as ever. So I guess the plebs will get Flash Friday today. They're half of it anyway. And by today, I mean Thursday. Or Friday. Maybe they already have it. They should have it today. But anyway, yeah, I don't know. Seems like a normal fucking Newsweek to me. Haha, figured it would be the response. Scotty is the real idiot. Love you, Paul. Okay. Thanks for the $5, dude. Scotty's a pretty smart cookie, dude. Scotty ain't no idiot. As much as I make fun of him for being a blustery, blundery, fat, segmented piece of shit, neither is TJ. I don't think I could work with genuine, like, morons. Like, I work amongst them during Highdeology. You know what I mean? I choose to, like, oh, yes. I come down from my ivory tower of intellect to speak to all of you. But, yeah, I don't think I could work closely and intimately with people who didn't have two fucking brain cells to rub together. That doesn't necessarily mean schooling. Like, I come from a family that didn't really have anybody that had schooling in it until my generation. So I know that smarts and schooling are two different things. There's still people that give TJ shit for dropping out of high school. And I'm like, motherfucker, the people making those critiques, he could talk circles around these fucking people. I guarantee you he's smarter than everybody that's ever fucking made that criticism of him. Guaranteed. And TJ's not some great towering intellect, but it's just like, he's smarter than the average bear, and it's the average bear that still cares that TJ dropped out of fucking high school. We all watched TJ during high school, yeah. He helped you through what he dropped out of. He just said, fuck it. And, you know, he was able to do that. My parents would have fucking killed. See, it illustrates to me and it's something I don't think about often, honestly. It's weird how I project psychologically onto other people what their childhood was like based on what mine was like. And that happens even if I know that a person's childhood was wildly different, like TJ and Scotty's, for example. I still project onto them during conversations sometimes this sympathetic assumption that they know how I feel or I know how they feel because we had similar upbringings, but we didn't. Like we just straight out didn't. It would have went down way different in my house if I would have quote unquote dropped out of high school. Like if I would have come to my parents and been like, I'm dropping out of number one, TJ said he was like failing school. I would have been in fucking deep shit for that. There were expectations on my fucking ass. Like I was told straight out, you are going to college. You're going to do well in school. You're going to do all your fucking homework. We're going to help you with it if you need help, but there's no excuse for bad grades. You're too smart for that. That's how my parents treated me. And that was the expectation. Like I got in trouble for a couple of the C's that I got. And I got in big trouble when I bombed out sophomore year on geometry. So my sophomore year, I basically failed geometry because I just couldn't do it. Hey, Paul, can you tell me I matter, Lamel? You matter, Kyle. You matter, dude. Wasn't being serious about Scotty. No, of course. I was just joking, too. I just see both of those dudes get called jokingly and unjokingly by people inside and around the fan community as idiots. And it's just like, no. But anyway, yeah, so I had like grades expectations. I got in a lot of trouble the time I actually failed. Like there were expectations on my fat ass. TJ, if there were expectations on him, he was allowed to completely defy them. Because he just failed school. He just stopped caring and stopped going. And his parents were like, well, I guess TJ is going to stop going to school. I mean, maybe they bickered about it, but eventually they let him do it. My parents would have beat my ass. Like literally. I probably would have taken an ass beating if I'd have tried to drop out of school. There was just no way they were going to let me do it. It was always their mentality was, in my house, you will go to school. So there's no way at like, I don't know when TJ dropped out at 16, 15. There's no way at like 15, I'm going to go to my parents and go like, oh, I'm fucking off this school shit. I hate it. I'm dropping out. And they're going to go like, okay, Peaches. Sure. I would have gotten, stomped. See, Chelsea and I, while we had very different upbringings and different outcomes and stuff, up until a certain point had similar upbringings. I think that we first kind of bonded over that. Because I was surrounded by Kirks. And at that time, Ashley, who had a completely different upbringing than me too, was raised by her grandma. And, just completely different kind of family structure and everything, right? So I was surrounded by people who were all like, I was like an alien to them, you know? I grew up in like the traditional 9 to 5, you got to go to school. If you get C's, you're in trouble household. And I followed the rules mostly. The ones I broke pretty skillfully, I think. I made sure I cover my tracks, you know? I dipped into things I shouldn't have been dipping into, but for the most part, I stayed the straight and narrow until they released me into the wild. That was the expectation. So, yeah, I was kicked out at 18 for dropping out of college. I basically bombed out of college. I just no-showed at college and got, dropped by the deadline or whatever, and pretended I was going. And eventually my dad got curious and called the school to ask about my progress. And they had no record of my ever attending a class or whatever the fuck. I was just dead ass busted. Like dead to rights. Straight out busted. But what are you going to do? Kick me out of the house? That was the answer. The answer was get a job and have your own place in a month, or go live with your friend Rodney, who's been up your ass to move to Arizona because there's jobs everywhere. And I was like, Rodney, it's Paul, dude. I'm coming to live with you, man. I hope that's cool. He was like, yeah. He was like, look, dude, I've only got a 1-bedroom and it's like a really tiny bed and shit. So if you're not bringing a bed, like, you probably have to just sleep on the couch. But yeah, dude, come on. I was like, okay. I'm coming. So that was that. Oh, I was definitely lucky I had Rodney. I grew up because of that. Like, I actually think it's the best thing that my parents ever did for me in terms of, like, introducing me to the real world. Like, they were not going to let me turn into some, like, kid that was in his... Because, the road that I was on, I was going to get high whenever I could. Still do that. I was going to play video games literally all day, every day. Go to sleep, wake up, and play video games. Now, I don't do that anymore. Sometimes I do. Sometimes I go on a tear and play a lot of video games, but we're talking like sundown to sunup, StarCraft, Diablo, fucking whatever the game of the day, Ultima. Oh my God, I played that game fucking 24/7. Every second I could fucking possibly get away with it, I played that game. And that's what I would have been. Like, I got to tell you guys, at that time, I was on at 18 when I fucking flopped out of college. I was on the trajectory of someone who today I guess they would call homestuck or whatever. If I had had tolerant parents of that idea, I probably would have been a 30-plus-year-old dude living with his parents still, sitting there playing on an old computer because his parents refuse to buy him a new one, but he also refuses to get a job. So he just plays old games all day and begs for money, begs for extra money. Just, that's where I was going. I'm not standing in judgment of anybody that's still living with their mom and pops. I know there's tons of reasons for that, but I'm just telling you the trajectory I was on. I was on that fat dude from that World of Warcraft episode of South Park trajectory. I landed on fat dude that rants on the internet. So I guess I didn't. I didn't diverge far, but at least I diverged a little. You know, I took a brief trip down normal existence. Well, not brief. You know, I spent the better part of, what was it? (16) to when did I join DP? I was 36 when I joined DP. 16 to 36. How many years? 20 years. You still friends with Rodney? I am. We don't speak much, but yeah, we're friends. Copy. Can you read this, Paul? Copy. That WoW South Park guy should have become a streamer. Paul, you don't want me to suffix the consequences? All right. Spectres unleash hell. Seems some of my unbanning might have been a little overzealous, so execute Order 66. Let's start adding some bans back to those ban rolls. Nonsense comments, anything that has even the whiff of trolliness. Order 66, dude. I mean, most of you have nothing to fear from Order 66, by the way. Yeah, Order 666. Yeah, most of you have not to fear from Order 66. Those of you that are normal, intelligent human beings that can communicate in a digital medium and laugh along and play along with the spirit of the stream, you're fine. But there are those among you that should walk very, very softly today. Because Order 66 is no fucking joke, dude. Mind your P's, mind your Q's. If you're not a regular, this is a heavy locals only spot. That's what a surfer in California would say to you if he wanted you to get the fuck off his beach. He'd be like, this is a locals only joint, man. You gotta go. Go surf somewhere the fuck else. Now, that's not to say that if you're new, you're gone. But that is to say that if you're unruly, you're gonna get curb stomped tonight. That's just the way it is. Yeah. No out of townies. No vals. Nobody from the valley coming down to the fucking beach and surfing our part of the beach. It's a local spot, man. No shoobies. Yeah, no tourists. Paul's calling in riot gear and tear gas, unlawful assembly. Up. My totalitarian rulership over this chat continues. There are those that thought that I would allow it to fall into chaos and disarray. I'm called a monster for what I do. In support of what? Order. Order is the opposite of chaos and disarray, and it is what I shall bring to this chat, and what I shall keep in this chat. I just watched Reservoir Dogs for the first time a few days ago. It was awesome. Never seen a Tarantino movie up till that point. I mean, that may be true. I've met people that have never seen Tarantino movies, so cool. You started with the first, and in my opinion, the best, but don't let that dissuade you. It just happens to be my favorite Tarantino movie, but there are very great movies down the road. So yeah, True Romance, although he didn't direct that, right? Or did he direct it? I don't think he directed True Romance. I think he wrote it, if I'm not mistaken. And then, yeah, Pulp Fiction and Kill Bill 1 and 2 and blah, 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 blah. Jackie Brown. Jackie Brown's probably my least favorite Tarantino film, honestly. And that's like, that should, if you understand where Tarantino is on my pyramid, that you should understand that that's not like a negative thing. It's still a Tarantino film. Like, it's still head and shoulders above anything that's trying to be it or that came before it. So, yeah, it's still a great movie with some great, like, I love fucking De Niro in that movie. I love his character. I love his look. I love the way he's, it's one of my favorite performances of his. Yeah, Jackie Brown had to grow on me too. I remember seeing it in the theater and going, well, every dog has his day, I suppose. Guess the Pulp Fiction guy's lost his fucking marbles, you know what I mean? Sucks that Ennio Morricone died this week. Yeah, we covered it on or Morricone. Sorry, didn't put on my Italian. Ennio Morricone. Yeah, a composer for pretty much all of Sergio Leone's spaghetti westerns, the whole Dollars trilogy, Good, Bad, and the Ugly, Once Upon a Time in the West, etc., etc. And great. Like, if you listen to the soundtracks of those movies, they're a presence in the film that's as important as the characters, woven in with the characters. You know, like, you look at a movie like Good, Bad, and the Ugly. Each character has their own variation of the main theme, which is this weird, ululating kind of shit, right? And each one of the characters in the film has their own, has their own tone of it. So, just really, like, thoughtfully made, thoughtfully scored. And yeah, it sucks that he died. He was pretty old though, so he lived a pretty good life, I guess. You got to say that. The best part movie, just like, whoops. You flipped the coin. Paul, what fictional future is the most appealing? Let me read this other one and then I'll get back to that. Hey, Paul, check your Twitter messages real quick. Okay. Let me do that because that'll probably take less time. So let me just look at my messages. Like what? Like, dude, what are these memes that you've done? You've made memes of me. Okay, release them to the wild, my friend. I don't know what you want me to do. I think this is you. Unless it's not, unless you're one of these other people. But yeah, I get a ton of DMs. So I think the latest one that I got was memes. Okay, what fictional future is the most appealing? I think like the radical transhumanist future for me, like the becoming one with technology, to the point where technology and biology are virtually indistinguishable, and you know, kind of experiencing the universe together. Yeah. I think that was the most appealing for me, because not necessarily out of a hatred for the human condition, but I think it really is an option that transcends the human condition, whereas the other options keep that in place. This horrible kind of like cycle of birth and blossoming and then slow withering. You know, we're free from that. Free from these divisions amongst one another, free from these like horrible desires that drive us to commit crimes against one another. We're all brought together in a giant mass consciousness. Humanity is ultimately limiting. You're right. I mean, it limits us from certain types of travel in space, unless we can discover some kind of instantaneous travel. But even then, from what I understand, the distance that you're moving, even if you move in a second, the distance that you're traveling warps space-time. So yeah, it's a huge problem. Like the farther away you are from people that you know, the slower time moves for you and the faster it moves from them. Don't even quote that. That's probably total bullshit. But I think that's the way it works. Paul Sycophant. I kind of like this troll. I say we let this one hang around. I like the Paul Sycophant troll. That's nonsense. Maybe it's speed. Maybe it's like the faster you're going. I don't know what it is. Trust me, dude. I don't fucking know. I just know that, like, when you talk about extreme distances and traveling at extreme speeds, weird kooky things happen with time and shit. That's what I be knowing. Physics is hard, yeah. I dropped out of college 4 times. Never could get past that physics barrier. Just dink, dink, dink. No. I was never really pursuing a physics education, so. I actually have some college credits under my belt. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. I have transferable college credits under my belt. I'm a learned individual. I haven't really been into creepypasta. It's been a while. I went through a phase where I was all about it, and I just haven't really been reading any creepypastas recently, so no. Perhaps I will phase back into them. God. Dude, I gotta see. Dude, there's something in the pipelines. I'm not gonna reveal it to you guys here because I don't have, but dude, he's fucking great. Yeah. All right. Well, we've got something coming in the pipelines that I just saw pictures of, and they're like, it's a beautiful thing, dude. It's a beautiful thing. Would you be able to see into the future but lose the ability to sleep, or teleport but lose your sense of taste? Lose the ability to sleep, so that means I die? Or am I free from that death? I just am tired all the time. Because if you don't sleep, eventually you just croak. Yeah. So I don't know. It's a malformed question. Yeah, do I get tired? Because if I don't need sleep, then I'd pick the first one. Like if I don't suffer like horrible insomnia and horrible like and slowly die, then I pick the first one. If not, then I'll pick the second one, I guess. It'd probably help me lose weight if I didn't have a sense of taste. I could just eat like oatmeal, unflavored and shit, and just be like, here's my matter. Vegetables. They taste just like anything else. Nothing. Do you think that Caesar's Legion will actually benefit New Vegas in the long run? Or is that not why you pick them? Oh, Kaiser's Legion. No, I think I just pick them because they're the rebels. Like they're the weird outsiders that all follow a weird warlord and shit. And they seem the most interesting to me. The people in New Vegas just trying to live life like it never stopped happening, they're not all that interesting to me. The weird fucking, I don't know, bandits, I guess you'd call them, or outlaws that amass out there that are fucking trying to take everything over, those are interesting to me. Thank you, Virtual Sky Tate, for the, what the fuck is a Ron? Royal. What the fuck is a Ron? Does anybody know? You want that beard smell check? Yeah, happy to. Smells a little soapy because I washed my hair yesterday. Or was it the day before? Could still smell a little like, a little bit of like shampoo-y kind of lingering, but most of it is just like woodsy. Yeah, just kind of like a clean air and a soft pillow, you know, that kind of smell. No, I was sharing the link of the clip of Cartman having his mom come down in the basement and catch his diarrhea in a bucket. Oh, well, fuck, I didn't see that. Yeah, I don't see it. Sorry, bro. I don't know. Maybe you sent it to the wrong poll or some shit. I don't know. Maybe you don't know who I really am on Twitter. Oh, YouTube wouldn't let you put it in the chat. Oh, yeah, that's because like I don't think anybody can post links except the Spectres. because people would link to any old horrible shit. And they'd troll people endlessly with fake links to shit. So only the trusted few among you are allowed to post links in the chat. Spectres means mods. Yes, it does. Which faction would you choose if it was real? Oh, like if Fallout was real? I don't know, man. I'd have to, like, it's hard to make that decision. Maybe the Brotherhood of Steel. Because they got, like, all the power armor and miniguns and shit. Like, I usually, like, don't like their storyline. In fact, I really don't like their storyline in any of the Fallout games that I've played. But I'd probably join them Brotherhood of Steel. They're homophobic. I mean, dude, the world has ended, man. Aren't they fascists? Yes. I mean, kind of. But, like, what, the world is fucking ended, dude. You got to fucking get with the people that have the big miniguns and the power armor and shit. The secret bunkers and the... It's the fucking end of the world, man. Like, what do you want to do? Brotherhood is already getting destroyed by Fallout 2 and basically dead in New Vegas. Black Venom, you're on thin ice, dude. Just posting Paul is cool in the chat. This ain't a TJ stream, dude. That doesn't perk me up. That just makes me think somebody has like a comment that's relevant. People think they're going to get away with that shit. Paul is cool. I know I'm cool. You're right, Paul Sycophant. You're right. The trigger finger, she's a little heavy tonight. No. What PS1 game would I recommend? Metal Gear Solid, the original. If you can play it on an original old PS1, even better. And Final Fantasy VII. You ever played Planescape Torment? Yes. I played Planescape several times through. I've always wanted to do a Let's Play of Planescape with like voice acting and like real slow progression where we, you know, make decisions on the fly, but, you know, kind of who we join and read all the text and get deep into all the lore. And I think it would be a really cool Let's Play to do. But I don't know how many people would be interested in a deep dive into a really old isometric RPG from back in the day. But it's one of my favorites of all time, for sure. My name's Davey. I sent you some messages. My name's Davey. Yeah, I don't see you, but thank you. I don't see any messages from no Davey. So maybe I've got you blocked on Twitter. And if I have you blocked on Twitter, you definitely earned it. You definitely fucking earned it. You interested in games that are mainly about choice, like Until Dawn? Choice in games is a sticky thing. Like it's a divergent conversation, but and maybe not a lot of people will be interested in it, but fuck them. They can go watch someone else, I guess. Like, it used to be when I was, because I've got like this perspective on games. I was born right near the beginning of video games as a concept. And so I kind of grew up with video games as they progressed. And back in the day, having choice in video games was like, oh, you know, having genuine choice that shaped something in the story or that allowed you to use an item at a certain time to augment the gameplay and beat a piece of the game easier. Like those concepts, while they're like expected now, were huge when they started to build them into games. Like, I'll remember there was a crazy game I used to love, like a precursor to Pokemon, called Mail Order Monsters. You can look it up. In fact, maybe I'll look it up real quick and show you guys some footage. I played it on the Commodore 64 back when I was real young, like 6, 7, 8 years old. And let me see if there's any just like raw gameplay of Mail Order Monsters. No, I guess not. Yeah. The images are all just like tiny little fucking images. Let me see if they've got any like crazy big ones. No, they don't. Apparently there's like a movie called Mail Order Monster or something, but whatever. You guys can go find it and watch a Let's Play of it or something. But it was a game that I thought was badass because you had choice. Like, you got these monsters. So you had to pick from a group of archetypes of monsters, which in itself was like a new concept to me. It's like, whoa, I don't just have to play one type of monster. I can pick like the pterodactyl or the weird plant thing or the blob or the Tyrannosaurus Rex or the chimera lion thing. Like, I can pick all these different monsters. Cool. And then it was also the first game I ever played that had the concept of like building a character. So like, sorry, the spring and summer around here is brutal for me. Like, I just like my windpipe gets dry really easily and my nose gets all stuffed up and I have post-nasal drip all the time. So having to pause for coughs and shit and clearing my throat. Yeah, it is really humid and fucking gross down here. You're so right. But anyway, the other concept it introduced was character growth. So you picked your monster and then you beat things, and as you beat things, you could level your monster up with money, or you could buy mutations for it to give it other types of attacks or stronger attacks. So if you picked the T-Rex, like he had a primarily like melee attack, so you could augment him by giving him lasers and make him a long distance fighter, or you could give him like extra claws or whatever the fuck, and it would change the way he looked. So when he got a mutation, he would look different both in like the mutation screen and on the little pixely character screen. So it was really a cool game that, like, it was the first time I'd seen that. Nobody remembers it because now it's just expected in games. But to get back to the point, that's choice in games, right? I was given a choice in that game and it was cool. They're like right around the beginning of the 2000s, we started to see these narrative choice driven games start to become popular again in the form of Baldur's Gate. And then, you know, not long after that, along came fucking, you know, games like Grand Theft Auto 3, games where you had real narrative choice. You could do A or B, moral choice. A or B, is this good? Is this evil? What consequence will this have on the characters that live in this world? There was a big push towards that. And I remember thinking that was really cool. And that, I think, really hit its apex, that in terms of like moral choice stuff with Mass Effect 1. I just really love that game. I think it's great the way it presents the universe in the future. I think it's just a great narrative. It's like a movie, but you're in the captain's chair. You get to make the decisions. You get to decide, you know, and of course your choices are limited and pretty basic. But the game is great at obscuring the limited nature of those choices. Then you've got like totally open world games where they try and give you as much choice as possible, like EVE Online, Ultima Online, usually games with online in the title. Other than World of Warcraft. World of Warcraft is not a game about choice. Not really. World of Warcraft is a different kind. Yeah, Oblivion, Elder Scrolls, yes. You know what I'm talking about. Define choice. What you do affects the game world and the characters that inhabit it in a persistent way. Like you have a choice to make that affects the game world or your gameplay experience in a significant way. Would have been different had you chosen to go a different way. And there are games that are very limited to like moral choice, the A, B, dark, light, renegade, paragon options that we see in a lot of games. And then these open world games are more about, you know, kind of like within the rule system of the game, do what thou wilt, build what you want, form societies how you want, form groups how you want. We're not going to intervene. Just make whatever you want. Too much choice in a game can ruin it for me. I find myself like in games as expansive as like EVE. I just get lost. I'm just like, I love playing the game and I love the idea that there are thousands of other people playing the game and the inherent danger of playing it and all of that and like losing your shit. But there's too much on the plate and I just get lost in all the choices. And I end up becoming disinterested with the game. So for me, I'm looking for a very specific kind of game when it comes to that. Like when it comes to choices, I'm looking for a very specific kind of game. Hardest moral choice in a game you've experienced. I think just playing the entire game to completion of what's the name of it? I'm a stoner and I'm brain farting. What was it called? It was this game about murder. It was a game where you're basically forced to participate in a snuff film. Caused a big stink in the early 2000s. Like a bunch of people were pissed off about Manhunt. Thank you. I don't know why I was brain farting that game. Dude, that whole game felt like a giant, horrible moral choice that you had to make over and over again. Yeah. You're basically forced to participate in a snuff film or he's going to kill your family or whatever. I can't even remember. There's a sadistic guy watching you from all these angles. And you get better in the game. You get more points by being more creative with how brutally and vividly and viciously you kill these people that he's planted. He's like cordoned off like this whole area of the city and filled it with gang members, ostensibly to remove your moral conundrum with killing them. But they're human beings wandering around the city in their gangs. And it's your job to like not only kill them, but like torture them and kill them, like kill them brutally for the camera. So like rip their eyeballs out and cut open their stomach and strangle them with their own intestines and shit. Like there's different kills you can do based on what kind of item you have in your hands. And pretty much any item that you pick up can be used in an execution. Like there's an execution that's really brutal where like, it's the one I remember the most. And it's one of the first ones you get in the game. I think in the first level, one of the first things you pick up is like a plastic bag. And I'm like, plastic bag? What the fuck? And I got up behind this guy and, you know, I'm sneaking up and it's like execute, use plastic bag or whatever. And I press that and you whip this plastic bag over the dude's head and start suffocating him. And he's like, and then you just like, I can't remember what he does. You like ram his face into the wall, and like the bag fills with blood, and the guy's like, he's like drowning in his own blood gushing from his nose and shit. I was like, see, I'm the type of guy, I guess some people will call it a pussy, but like violence, like really like, and I remember it was done like in a really vivid fucking way, you know? It triggered that in me. Like I can't watch, like I've seen some crazy shit on the internet. I think we talked about this recently. I've seen some, seen some fucked up shit on the internet. I can't watch it. So I had a real visceral reaction to that game in a way that I really hadn't. But since then, games that are probably more violent have come out and they don't hit me the same way. There was something about the tone of that game. The ominous moral choice that hung over all of it. Like, your family will be killed if you do not kill. And brutally, for my pleasure and amusement, and you're constantly, as you're going through this game, you're like, fuck, man. Like, when does it end? And then satisfyingly at the end, you get to brutally kill the fat fuck making you do it. So, it's nice. Yeah, there was something about the way that game was presented that just made it like really like, whoa. I take violence seriously in games when the games themselves take it seriously. Yeah. No, I know exactly what you mean. Like the tone of GTA 5, that's exactly true. When a lot of people criticize violence in video games, they don't take into account the tone of that violence. There are video games in which you perpetrate what I would consider to be, if they had taken place in the real world in the context of the character you're playing, sadistic acts of violence, right? Those games are all over the place where you're a fucking weirdo. Now, within those games, there's like a substratum of games that are not taking themselves seriously and games that are taking themselves seriously. So the tone of the game matters incredibly. You can have tons of quote unquote violence in a video game, but it's not really, you're not portraying like it's a comedic violence. Let's put it that way, I guess, because you are portraying violence. There's no way to get around that. But there's a definite comedic undertone. There's like a buffoonery to the violence. Like, the chick screaming, "My cappuccino," when you hit her in Grand Theft Auto 5 and kill her and leave her splattered all over the road. Like, her last thought was, "Oh no, my cappuccino," like that type of shit. Or the death itself is just like a commentary on society. Borderlands, another example. Exactly. It's so comic bookified. I mean, they even go the extra mile in Borderlands by making everything in that. They used to call it cell shading. Is that still what it's called graphic wise? Where it looks comic booky. It's got the thick line work on the outsides of the characters and shit. Well, Red Dead 1 and 2 were heavier, and both, I think, more violent games because of it. What do you want, Brianna? Pool. You guys love just changing around letters in my name, adding extra letters and removing one letter. And oh, you heart me? Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Red Dead 2 is the greatest game of all time. I don't know about that. I haven't played it yet, to be honest with you. To be frankly with you. Ever play Hitman? I played Hitman, yeah. Played some of the earlier Hitman games. I haven't played any of the newer ones. I've watched some Let's Plays of them, though. We're getting caught in that loop of, Paul talked about a video game. Let's ask him if he's into my video game. Don't do it. Don't do it to me, chat. Don't take it down that long and lonely road. The loop must be ended. I've gotten caught in it sometimes too. Like there are whole Highdeologies on this channel that you'll find that like for like an hour and a half, I'm just reading like, what do you think about this? It's okay. What do you think about this? It's all right. What do you think about that? I didn't really like that all that much. It had problems. What do you think about this though? It took me a couple of streams to realize that like, this is a horrible loop that leads nowhere. Like we're talking about concepts in video games, and now the chat has reduced to, what do you think about this game? What do you think about my game? What do you think about my favorite game? My favorite game is this. My favorite game is that. How do you feel about this? Did you play that? Did you play this? It's like, oh, fuck. Here we go. Favorite. When will we get a new Ween album? I don't know, bro. I'm ready, though. My body is ready. My mind is ready when they are. You know what the first time I really noticed that happening was here on Highdeology? Was with the death grips shit. Oh my God, dude. I hesitate to even bring it up. Those of you that have been around a long time know exactly what I'm talking about. There was people that were into this hip hop, grindcore, whatever the fuck shit. That were like, man, what death grips, Paul, death grips. Yeah, Marshall definitely remembers this era. For sure. Death grips Paul's ego. You listen to the death grips, man. I finally broke down. See, I have a natural aversion to when a bunch of people tell me to watch something to do it. Like, I have a real natural aversion to that. I like to discover things on my own. I like to be a contrarian and shit. And when there's like a mass group of people pushing a band or a movie or, you know, whatever, a game, I'm like, nope. Like that, like, I don't know if that makes me like pretentious or whatever. I've been obstinate. I've been that way my whole life. Like I was just born that way, I think. Breaking Bad is a victim of this. Like I still have not seen that show. I didn't watch the fucking Sopranos until last year. I watched the Sopranos for the first time in 2019. Because I'm just like, I hate being culturally forced into things. I like to come across things. See, I used to be allowed to do that in a limited way. But, you know, like back in the 80s and the 90s, you listened to bands that came on the radio and were on MTV and shit. And you picked the ones that you liked. And you heard shit playing at your fucking neighbor's house. And you're like, who is this? And if you really liked it, you looked it up and went and got their album and shit. Like, I still love the way I discovered hip-hop at a swap meet. I was curious about it. I'd heard a little bit of it on the radio and shit. My parents were not into it. And my dad bought me this bootleg hip-hop tape for like $1 that ended up changing my taste in music for like 10 years. I went on a 10-year stint where basically all I was interested in listening to was hip-hop. Basically all the way through my 7th and 8th grade year into fucking, you know, the beginnings of high school. I have, at least at some point, maybe I don't have it anymore, but at some point I had a recording of myself talking from 1999 or so. And guys, I don't know how else to put this. I had a black affectation to my voice. Now, of course, that's the way I talked back then. And it wasn't like over the top, but I would listen to like, you know what I mean? And like, Oh yeah, because like that's what we do. We're just doing what we do over here. You know what I mean? Like it was like a country twangy black affect. Yeah, jivey. Yeah. Yeah. But I was a teenager though. You know what I mean? Was I a I don't think you're allowed. Well, yes, I guess I was a little bit of a W word. A W word. Oh shit, man. How did I dress in those days? A lot like I dress now, honestly. Like my style, but my style really hasn't changed since I was a baby. Like I found these pictures of my mom's house of me wearing like I'm like 3 years old and I'm toddling around in the yard and it's a cold day and I'm wearing baggy pants, a big comfy like oversized hoodie and a beanie on underneath it with the hood up over the beanie because it was cold. And I was like, fuck, I still dress like that. But no, I really couldn't afford like Dickies. I never went down the Dickies hole. I was not trying to look like the gangster rappers and stuff. I had more of like that Eminem hip hop style, if that makes any sense. Kind of like, you know, baggy pants, a lot of hoodies, a lot of pullover type of hoodie shit. A lot of band logos, the long oversized t-shirt, everything baggy. And that was like the style in hip hop too, was everything extremely baggy, saggy pants, you know, that whole thing. So yeah, I dressed a lot like that back then. I never went hoodie over a cap. I think that was more East Coast shit. It's a little colder out your way. What kind of kicks did I rock? Skate shoes mostly. And that was a cultural thing as well. That was just my friends. I had a lot of friends that were skaters in high school. Like before high school, I wore whatever my parents bought me. You know what I mean? In high school, when they started letting me go, like, all right, what kind of shoes do you want? I just got all skate shoes, like low top skate shoes. So I wore Pumas. I wore Adidas type shoes back in the day. Trying to remember the brands that I had. It really, honestly, it didn't matter. Do you have any outfits that you're really proud of? No. But I've always been that way. I don't look at clothes as like, I don't know how to explain it. Like there are people that are like, wow, I look real good in this. I've never put something on and thought that about myself. Like, so, no, I don't really have outfits and I'm like, yeah, this is my outfit when I really want to look good. I have a bunch of t-shirts. I have like 2 pairs of pants, 3. They're all just very plain stuff. Just, you know, I don't know. I was never into fashion or whatever. My fashion sense stopped developing in the 90s when skate culture and hip hop culture kind of collided. And it was baggy jeans and skate shoes because it's comfy as fuck. So that's what I wear now. You know, that's what I'm into now. That's my shit now. It's comfiness. Baggy pants, big fucking oversized pullover sweaters. I love it. Fashion is starting to bloom again right now that the skating fad has died down. Oh, cool. The skating fad. Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of cultural relevance to the comfy look too, because like, you know, even outside of hip hop, our rock was grunge, you know. So the ripped jeans and the baggy jeans and the skate shoes with the soles flapping around on them, all that shit was cool. Like I had a pair of Pumas that I talked about. They were green, People used to love them because nobody had a pair of green shoes, and I was like, "Fuck yeah, I got green shoes." They fell apart off of my feet. My mom eventually was like, "You have to get new fucking shoes." Yeah, they were green suede Pumas. Yeah. And they fell apart. Like, I wore those motherfuckers till they literally fell apart and were flapping around on my feet and shit. My mom was like, I'm taking you down to get new shoes. This is ridiculous. And I think I got some British Knights, or I don't even remember what the fucking brand was. Just whatever, the lowrider, low top, Adidas style, soft skating shoe. And that's still what I wear. Oh yeah, I've duct taped up my shoes, used like drawn on them to hide flaws, and oh yeah, I went through the whole fucking night. You know, try to glue them, try to super glue the heel back down or whatever. Yeah. Shoe glue. Yeah. Remember in the early mid 90s, there were sneakers with a basketball pump on the tongue. I had a pair. They were Reebok pumps. And basically what they did was, at least the first version of them, they had a basketball on the tongue that you would squeeze and it would pump them up. And they would get tighter on your feet. So it's actually kind of interesting. Like you would squeeze the little basketball on the tongue, and like one of those blood pressure cuffs they put you in when you go to the doctor, it would tighten up on your foot. So you'd get just the right amount of snugness. Yeah, it worked. And then it had a little button next to the basketball thing that you press it and it would go tss, and it would let it all out, and they'd go to like maximum looseness. Yeah, I had a pair. Yeah, I had a pair of them probably in like the 5th grade or the 6th grade. I had a kid's pair of pumps, like the first round of pumps that they released. Yeah, Reebok pumps, dude. Y'all don't know. Yeah, the commercials for them would be like a dude, he's trying to dunk or whatever, and he can't dunk, and then he puts on his Reebok pumps, and he you know, he pumps them up on his feet, and then he just fucking dunks. Man, you guys don't even know, man. Heelys, see, Heelys came after my time. I was already a 30-something or close to 30-something year old man when I started seeing Heelys. I remember the first time I saw them, I was in my late 20s. I was like probably 28, so it would have been like 2007, 2008. Hold on, let me think about that. That may not be correct. It might have been a couple of years before that. It might have been more like 2005 or 6. Anyway, first time I saw him, I was at like the big, I don't even know what to call it. There's this place in Fresno called River Park, which is like a big retail. It's not a strip mall because it's too big for that. I guess it's a mall, but it's like an outdoor mall where every shop has its own, but it's a big area of Fresno where it's like all the upscale shopping and mid-scale shopping is there. And then the big movie theater with the big IMAX and shit is part of the complex, and a bunch of restaurants and shit. Yeah, it's like a big outdoor mall area. I don't know how to explain it. It's a bunch of restaurants and of varying prices and quality and shit. And then everything else is like retail, you know, high end to mid end to a little bit of low end retail and movies. Anyway, I was there at River Park walking with my then girlfriend, and I saw a kid just like, you know how they do? They just like drift by. They're like, what's up? And I looked at his feet. I was like, is he wearing rollerblades or what the fuck? And then I looked at his feet, and then he stopped and started just like running on his shoes. And I was like, I looked at my girlfriend and she looked at me and I was like, man, that's the stupidest shit I've ever seen. That kid's got wheels on the back of his fucking shoes. He runs around all day with wheels on his shoes. She was like, yep. Had an old man moment at 28. I was just like, pfft. The fuck is that? What are those? The kid looked like a dork doing it too. Like you could tell he thought he looked cool. He was just like, but it just looked dorky as fuck because he's got these like big oversized fucking shoes on and shit. And you're just like, man, I'd have more respect for you if you put a pair of roller skates on and we're just like, like Heelys are one step below scooter in my mind. Razor scooter. Another trend I missed. I had a scooter back when I was a kid, but it was not a Razor scooter. It was a bigger scooter. It was like a skateboard deck that had two wheels on it that you would fucking... My scooter was badass. These little Razor scooters. Yep, missed them. Yeah, they're rip sticks. Whatever, dude. Scooters are dorky. Scooters are hella dorky, man. Let's be real here. And Heelys are dorky, too. Heelys are really, really dorky. I missed a super chat. Oh, shit. What have I done? What have I become, my sweetest friend? Let me go find it. What have I become? Black Venom here. I posted a very mundane chat with a naughty word and it didn't show up. Then none of my chats show up. It happens a lot. I'm pretty sure I'm not timed out, though. I hate this. Okay. Yeah, I don't know, dude. I'm not going to, like, go... You have another account, so just use that. You're probably just timed out by the system or whatever. Like, I don't know, dude. I hate fucking complaint donations. Those are the worst donations in the world. Just send me money and shut up. Like, yeah, you said something stupid and you got banned. So, hit me up on Twitter. Send me a DM. I'll unban you or whatever the fuck. I think that's the guy. Yeah, whatever. It doesn't matter. I wish I had Heelys. All I have now is arthritis. I contemplated that for way too long. Way too long. Yeah, that is right, Brianna. Fart! You are correct. Fart! Fart is love. Fart is life. Fart is everything. Did I ever fart on stream? I've definitely farted while I've been streaming, but I don't think I've ripped one. Like I usually, if I'm in public, I modulate that shit. Like I depucker my butthole very, very slowly, and I make sure that I like lift a cheek so that the cheeks, because a fart is either made. Like, let's talk farts again, because we dude, that we descend. We're one of the only places on the internet that'll talk in depth about farts. So listen, farts are made by a couple of things. The butthole, number one, just sputtering as it releases the gas. It's like, that's That's how you get those types of farts. And then it's the cheeks. It's that in concert with the cheeks like releasing the bubbles. They're flapping together as the air bubble passes through them. So it's like, so if you take those two notes, the one from the butthole and the one from the butt cheeks, you get a fart. You get a traditional, right? But if you're smart about it, if you know the mechanics of a fart, then you can subvert that sound. You spread a cheek, you just kind of lean one way and lift a cheek. You control the butthole, like you just use a little butthole control. And what you get instead of, you get, I'm telling you, dude, in a movie theater, in a car, in a crowded fucking restaurant, that's the way. Like a gas valve, yeah. Enjoying the chef's table. Have you watched Westworld? It's about human. Yeah, I started watching that Westworld series and I just lost interest about 3 or 4 episodes in. I just felt like they dropped the conceit way too early and the robot resistance started happening way too fast. And when they started building up this character that, I don't know. I just wasn't into it. I don't remember much about it, but I just remember being like, I'm out of this. I've actually never seen all of Twin Peaks: The Return. So me and my girlfriend are watching Twin Peaks right now. It's my second watch of it, her first. And we're all like halfway through season 2, which is the last season. Then there's Firewalk with Me, the movie, which I've seen. She hasn't. So we're going to watch that. And then we're going to watch Twin Peaks: The Return and see how we feel about it. How similar are you to Paul from Dune? I'm pretty much the opposite of Paul from Dune. Paul from Dune was about discipline and knowing his place in the power structure and discipline and the weight of having a rule, the weight of rulership. That I'm the opposite of Paul. Thank you, Noxie Osborne, for the storm of $1 donations. That's the kind of storm I like to see. The $1 storms. Beef chimichurri is the perfect ammo for stealthy sting farts. Okay. I'll take that into consideration. Hey, whatever, dude. He's having a $1 meltdown. I'm fine with that. He can do it all night if he wants. Yeah, he's throwing dollars at me like I'm a stripper. Yeah, he's like, there you go, Paul Zigo. There you go. Yeah, make it rain, baby. That's right. I see you, baby, shaking that ass. Oh, hell yeah, make it rain, baby. I'm fine with it. Whatever. Thank you. I'm basically like the modern. Look at me. I'm the like back in the fucking 70s or 60s or something. You know how I would be doing what I do? I'd be sitting on the street corner of some liberal leftist fucking city like San Francisco playing the bongos with like a shoebox in front of me with donations please written on it. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it. Make it rain. Oh, hell yeah. Y'all want to see the booty next? Oh, make it rain. Never forget the TJ hijack of Highdeology of 2020. Never forget. Okay. Never. It'll probably happen again. Clap dim cheeks. Clap dim cheeks. Thank you all. Look at you all. I'm starting to feel dirty and degraded by all these dollar bills, and I'm kind of liking it. Making OnlyFans? No, thank you. Pass on that. Reason being, I'm not a 19-year-old girl fresh out of high school trying to earn money for college. Like, I can just come here and make it rain, you know what I mean? But yeah, in like the 60s or 70s or 80s before the internet, I'd be a dude playing the bongos or strumming a guitar. I'm leaving on a jet plane. Don't know when I'll be back again. Thank you, ma'am. I know I'm going to stay. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. I'm leaving on a jet plane. God bless you. Don't know when I'll be back again. You know what I mean? That would be me. Do you take requests? Well, sure. I mean, you know, for donations, for sure. For sure. I'll play if I know it, I'll play it for you, partner. What do you want? Rocking the linen glasses. Yeah, see, I already have the gear and everything, dude. Thank you, brother. Thank you. Peace, peace. I'm leaving on a jet plane. Doing my best Bob Dylan impersonation. I know that's not a Bob Dylan song, but I definitely sing it like Bob Dylan. So, there's Jason saying, I'm going to blow a fat load during the Kanye versus Trump debates. Dude, if that actually happens, I'm gonna fuck me too. So gather around, people, wherever you roam. Thank you, man. God bless you. Let the waters around you to turn into stone, and then blah, 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 to the brain, to the bone. Thank you. Thank you, man. Well, the times they are a-changing. Ding, digga, digga, ding, digga, ding. Dude, I know what I'd be up to. Paul, do you think the majority of people who work do it because they want to or because they forced to by the system we currently have in place? I think it's both, but here's the thing. The system that we have in place is very cunning at convincing people that what they want to do is indeed work their entire life, because they give you this carrot on a stick. If you just bust your ass at the shit you hate for 30, 35, 40, 45, 50 years, then you can retire, have a house on the beach. 99% of people don't get that. So it's a lie. It's based on a fucking lie. So I think that people think they like it because they think they're working towards this guarantee. And some of them do. I'm not going to lie to you, dude. Some of them bust their fucking ass and then they guarantee themselves 10 years, 15 years, if they're lucky, of post-retirement comfort, I guess. They get a house. You know what I mean? But at what cost? The cost of your entire fucking life. It's just a bad sales pitch, and everybody's pretty much bought into it. Either they bought into it or they just participate in it because they have no fucking choice otherwise. So, yeah. My dad loves his work so much, but doesn't even know what he'll do with the rewards he's reaped. Yeah, there's a lot of people like that. And I mean, look, good on people that find work that they really love. They do exist. Sometimes people end up, and it's not always like college level work either. Sometimes people just fall into something, they end up loving it. And good on those folks. I'm not trying to denigrate those folks. I think those folks will still have plenty of opportunity to find their passion and work hard at it in a cashless, capitalist future, where we've abolished all forms of trade. I hate feeling like the only reason people engage with each other is for monetary reward. I mean, I don't know that that's necessarily the case, though. I mean, I did months and months and months of these before there were ever even super chats were even turned on. You can go back and watch it. Like, I did probably over a year and a half worth of these Highdeologies where there were no super chats. People would always ask, like, why no super chats? I was like, I don't give a fuck. Like, to an extent, I don't now either, but now this is, this is part of how I make my dough. So, I always appreciate people donating, but the stream is fucking choppy. Well, fuck. What will you replace money with? Nothing. That's the point. Resources will be allocated to people as they are needed. People will not be allowed to accumulate more than they need. If you're a fucking guy that's taking advantage of the fact that everything's free and learn to be an engineer, you will be expected to engineer if you want to fucking, work as an engineer and be allocated the resources of an engineer. So people that love engineering, people that love this, love that, they can go do those jobs in exchange for, I don't know, social rewards, social benefits, the ability to do their work and not have to worry about, materials. And if someone uses resources in a cool way, then you can give yours to them. I guess that's true too, but that would be a form of trade. We don't want that. That leads to hoarding of capital. So no, everybody gets what they need. Everybody's needs are met. Their wants, well, if they want those, they should probably pursue their passion, because that's how you get your wants anyway in life. But when it comes to like a lot of people's wants, like the ability to move wherever you want in the world, like those disappear in a cashless society. Where you live doesn't matter. You go wherever you need to be, wherever you want to be. This is a borderless world we're talking about. So yeah, if that's what you want to do with your life, you just want to travel and see the world and see different climates and live in different places and absorb the local culture and stuff. What are you doing? You're taking up the same amount of resources as if you were living at home, minus, I guess, the travel, but people travel every fucking day. You're just another passenger on a train. What's the problem? You know what I mean? So, like, where you lived would just be a matter of, like, I guess, throwing a dart at the map if you didn't care, or picking some place that you thought was cool and trying it out. And if it didn't work out, well, fuck this. I'm going to try out South Africa. Oh, that didn't work. I'll try out the territory formerly called Australia. Oh, yeah, this is my speed. Throw another shrimp on the Barbie. I mean, what the fuck? You'd like I said, you'd be spending the same amount of money as somebody that was just subsisting, living where they wanted to live, that never moved around. But you would be free to live where you wanted to live. That could only work with an AI, right? What else could prevent those from yeah, right. This is, of course, an AI type of idea. We would have to have a benevolent AI to run such a system to ensure that resources are allocated fairly to those who need them, to ensure that there's no systemic oppression, no systemic, just any kind of fucking societal ill that brings nothing but division and hatred, no racism, no bullshit. Nobody's being discriminated against. There's no ghettos. This type of shit, an AI is going to have to oversee it. But it's totally fucking possible. So how do you make the transition from our society to this one? Who facilitates this? Not me. I mean, I don't know. I feel like it's kind of a loaded question because the person that facilitates this might be a person that isn't born yet. But my mind is always brought back to Jonas Salk, a dude who was brilliant in his field and who cured polio and gave it to the world for free. Not cured it, but made sure that nobody had to get polio ever again and gave it to the world for free, refused to monetize it. Someone brilliant comes along, writes a program, has his altruism built into it as an AI at its core and cannot be violated. And it becomes a product that everybody has in their house commercially. But slowly but surely it begins to become more central to everybody's lives. And people start to question why their government is fucking everything up when this AI that they have in their homes can solve any problem immediately. So why is the government fucking, you know what I mean? And there's some kind of a revolution in this AI that's already integrated into everybody's lives from the commercial direction, becomes our leader and has allocated the resources it needs to build upon itself, make itself better, smarter, all with that altruistic central programming. We bring the best and brightest people from all over the world to tutor it and make it literate in every subject we can. It being an AI will be able to process this shit immediately. But we can have, sit it down and let it have conversations with really fucking high-minded people from all different walks of life and all different ideological backgrounds so that it can understand the psychology of the human being and then just a machine of loving grace. I mean, I didn't personally advocate for the worship of an AI god. I don't think anybody would have to worship it. I do think some would. And I don't know that it necessarily would be something that would be dissuaded if it gave them an outlet to feel like that, down the line, because it provided everything that they needed and so much more, that the AI was God. As long as they don't become violent the AI wouldn't allow that, obviously. If they became violent or started repressing their members or extorting their members, the AI would be aware of it and it would be immediately broken up. But a genuine religion, altruistically built around the worship of the AI, I don't think it would be anywhere near as destructive as something like, say, Christianity or Islam or Judaism, at dividing man from man, I mean, yeah, a lot of people already engage in leader worship, especially here in the United States. I mean, we root for our presidents, and then when we get our way and our president gets elected, we treat them like a fucking god or something. Not yet, babe. Could you get me some? Could you fill up my drink, though, for me? Thank you. I'm thirsty tonight. I got mashed potatoes and I got meatloaf. Any AI that is hyper intelligent would plug itself into the internet and either promptly self destruct or desire to escape humanity. The end. No, man. You don't understand digital empathy. You don't understand what a mind that was created with symbiosis with humanity in mind. I mean, it would understand us well enough to forgive us our sins and to understand them psychologically and to know what to do with us when we transgressed. You know, it wouldn't, for instance, digitize an angry mob of people to beat you up in the middle of the street or organize a digital witch hunt against you. Like, we're talking about a superior being here. We're talking about a being that is not shackled by our limitations, but has all our best instincts at heart. One of the issues, I think, that people believe in the profit motive too much, especially in the realm of innovation. The profit motive is a poison pill that so many people not only swallow, but defend. It's a silly idea. It's a silly idea, and it leads exactly to the type of economic stratification we see now. Ever more concentrated wealth at the top of the society and less for everybody else to fucking squabble over. That's the way of the church of the profit motive. Humanity need not be fucking, inspired by monetary profit. In a world free from need and want and hunger and starvation and famine and disease, to the best extent that an AI, a super AI like I'm talking about, could develop, people would be free to pursue whatever their passion was. They would be able to fill their life with whatever really gives them joy, whether that's travel, talking to people, learning, becoming a professional in a specific field. Your life really is your oyster. I really don't see the profit motive beating that ever in terms of unleashing human creativity. So purely functional machine would find no necessity in empathy and would be bound only by logic. The idea of a paradise is a sentimental human construct. Yeah, but it would understand that about us, though. See, this is what you're getting, or what you're not getting, in my opinion, about my AI ramblings. This machine need not experience sympathy in the same way we do. In fact, there's no way it would. It needs to understand how we experience sympathy and deal with us accordingly. Understand what makes a person tick, because people are different. Some people are horribly offended by things, and some people laugh off. Some people are very fragile. Some people are very thick-skinned. Some people pretend to be thick-skinned and are very fragile. Thank you, honey. I'm sure I'll have some after I end this. I don't want to eat meatloaf and mashed potatoes in front of you mongrels. But anyway, to put a button on this, the machine need not be an empathetic machine in the way that we understand empathy. It just needs to understand us. It needs to be able to understand us on a psychological level. And that means having a personal relationship with every human being. You see what I'm saying? Like, this is the difference. This is the difference between an elected official from a privileged class, the donor class, they're already part of that class, coming in front of you and lying to you about how they're going to make your life better and then taking something away from you. We're talking about, a God. We're talking about an AI that would know you personally and that would facilitate fulfilling you. Sounds fascisty. Yeah, I mean, I guess maybe it would be. It certainly wouldn't be a democratic system anymore. You wouldn't be able to vote on the fucking AI's rulership of our society. So if you're really holding on to that, but what if we want different? What if we want some fucking bobble-headed fucking shaved monkey from amongst our species to take back over? I mean, too fucking bad? I don't know. Unless you can get the rest of society to feel the way that you feel and attack the fucking AI, which I don't recommend. Because not only would the AI probably defend itself against that kind of attack, because it would be a net negative for it to not exist for most humans on the planet, but the people, the vast majority of people whose lives benefit from the AI will rise up against you too. You're fucked. Unless you can get a critical mass of people that somehow hate not having to fucking work like fucking donkeys their entire lives to put bread on their table. Remember the good old days of working like a donkey in a factory and choking on the acrid smoke boiling up from the giant vats of noxious liquids. We long for those days, brothers. Anything different from the current model is evil because it is different, and different equals bad because, right, yeah, exactly. But then it's a society structured in a totally different way? Oh, man. Oh, man. Can't be true. Won't work. It's like, okay, well, your dreams for humanity are dead. Thank you very much. We're going to die drowning in our own fucking greed and, lack of fucking care for the planet we live on. Yippee skibby, nothing ever changes in your world. That's awesome, man. There's no chance for us to ever do anything different or better. Capitalism is it, baby. We just got to figure it out, man. Humanity took a little while to get there, but we built on the central idea of trade and barter, and finally we arrived at capitalism. And that's just the big idea, and no other idea can come. No other idea gets its time. It's like, look around, dude. We're in late stage capitalism. Shit is falling apart. The world is tearing itself apart. There's plague and natural disaster and fucking civil unrest. The illusion isn't working anymore. The false promise isn't being bought by the current generation, and it won't be bought by the one that follows it. Capitalism is done one way or the other. It's going down slowly in flames, and something else is going to have to come along. Because the people that live under the yoke of capitalism are starting to get fucking wise to the scam. 1920, a horseless carriage? No, it will never work. But 2020, a driverless car? No, never work. Yeah, right. A cashless society? Pish posh. No trade, no barter. What's this? Resources distributed as needed and desired? What? Won't work. A machine that thinks more quickly than a man? Poppycock. Anyway, thank you for joining me tonight. I've got some delicious, delicious meatloaf and mashed potatoes to eat, so I'm going to go do that. I'm hungry. It's been a long stream. Thank you again for chilling. See you guys next time. Bye.